Absolutely, and it's so much more of a mental journey than I think than a physical journey that people don't realize because you can convince your body to work out. I mean, just but the mental aspect is so much more trying. But yeah, I mean, we've heard so many great stories of just on the confidence boost alone, and that in and of itself is one thing that I like to try to tell people when they're asking me about, hey, do you really think I should really start really taking things seriously? And that's always use that as an example. But now a fun question that I love to ask because everyone's genetics are different. We were talking about this just a little bit before, and everyone always has that one body part when they get started in the gym that really, really takes off. And then everyone always has that one body part that just lags behind. Unfortunately, they just have to train to oblivion. I mean, I'll give you mine first. My back, just because I had jobs in warehouses all throughout college where you either got a really nice back or you quit, but also being 6'3", I mean, my legs and my lower body are just shot where I mean, I still have friends to this day when I walk into the gym, they go, "Oh, hey Ryan, you plan on working legs anytime this year?" And then it's like, "Come on, you saw me working legs yesterday." It's like, "Come on." So, and then calves especially, don't even get me started. I always said I could inject pure muscle into my calves and they wouldn't gain an ounce. But what were those body parts for you when you were getting started?
Oh, definitely my best and most responsive body part is definitely my upper body. I always joked that God cut me in half and gave me somebody else's upper body and a different lower body because my legs were definitely very, very hard to respond. They just took a lot more work to do, and I kind of had a love hate relationship with them, hating working them because one, I didn't see, I couldn't I had to work them so much harder to get any kind of results. But the once I figured that out and I got through I really hate working my legs, then it really made a huge difference. I got my legs and my glutes, especially like my hamstrings and the back of my legs, to a point that I was shocked that I could get them to, and it was just pushing a little harder. You just have to realize that you do have different body parts and they respond. So if you have a area that's not responding, you're just going to have to push it harder, and you can get it there. It just takes some different training or more volume of training or some kind of different strategy for that. So yeah, I'll say my legs and my glutes.
Well, I was gonna say she's talking upper body. Her arms are basically taking up the entire screen. So yeah, that's a given. But yeah, I mean, I always love asking that question because we have such a wide variety of answers. I mean, I remember I had one lady who just I don't know why, but she was just born with those calves, and she put her calf like right up on the table, and I was like, okay, we're done here. I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, I know it's just one of those things where I just find it so fascinating that other people's bodies respond differently, and I think that's important to enforce in this day and age because everyone is on Instagram and everyone looks at these photos of people and they always say, "Oh, I want their arms or I want their abs or I want their legs." But just be the best version of yourself. You don't know, first of all, how that person got to where they're at. You don't know. I mean, maybe they're just more genetically inclined to look like that. So I just think spreading that message is so important, especially for the youngest generation where they always grow up saying, I mean, in your generation, it was probably just looking at magazines and being like, "Oh, I want what they have." But now it's with social media. So every generation, I think, needs to have that a little bit enforced, where it's like just be your own best version. But a training technique that I use all the time that I didn't learn it on here, but I really, had so many people come on and praise it is time under tension. Do you use a lot of time under tension in your training?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my training, and I still train. I haven't really competed in a few years, but my training has always been more, and I would switch it up, but I've always been more of a lighter weights, um, really focusing on the muscle and the contraction, and slowing it down. Yeah, the time under tension is huge. For me, I know not everybody could, work out that way. I've had many clients and friends who needed to be more on a faster paced power type of workout, and who definitely needed the heavier weights. But I can do amazing changes in my body, and so can other people with lighter weights. It's nicer on the joints for sure as you get older, and just really, really focusing and slowing it down. That to me is my best way of training for sure.